Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I thought it was done for the day, and then I saw this story come up, and I thought, you know what? It's just too good. It's too good to pass up. I've just got to come in and do the story straight away. And it's all about Mhairi Black. She's got a bit sweary black at the moment, and she says that Westminster is full of arseholes, and she's plotting this Holyrood move. Now, I think, yes, she was right. Westminster was full of arseholes. But now, of course, Margaret Ferrier has gone, and she and 7 other of her cohort of SNP MPs have all said that they're not standing at the next election. So that arsehole problem is solving itself, and soon there'll be very, very few arseholes in Westminster. I just think it's very sweet of Mhairi Black to admit that she is an arsehole and that she is at least doing something to relieve the problem down at Westminster. But we'll take a quick look at this video just to see what's going on, to see why she is going back to inflict the people of Scotland with her brand of hate-filled politics, but this time in Holyrood rather than Westminster. Here goes. So, foul-mouthed and foul-faced Mhairi Black says Westminster is full of arseholes as she plots a Holyrood move. And as I say, yeah, that just means that Holyrood will be full of arseholes, won't it? Oh wait, it already is. Anyway, the soon-to-be former SNP MP made the crude comment on stage at the Edinburgh Fringe. Now that's the last thing anyone wants to see, is Mhairi Black's Fringe. Where she also stated that her vote would be up for grabs if the Nats break up the UK. Which they won't. So that is absolutely fine. So Mhairi Black thinks Westminster is filled with arseholes, and she refuses to rule out a Holyrood return to politics. That's assuming Holyrood wants her and that the people of Scotland are willing to vote for her. I don't think people are. I think her days are done. But that said, what else could she do? She's virtually unemployable. Anyway, the SNP, although if ever you need anyone to test Kit Kats, she's your woman. The SNP favourite admitted her party would have little purpose if they ever secured independence, and questioned her own loyalties when she said her vote would be up for grabs if there was a yes victory. And that's the very point. If the Scottish National Party did somehow, amazingly in an alternative reality, achieve independence, their very reason for being would cease to be. They would be functionless. They would have no point. And many people, strangely enough, think that they currently have no point of being, but that's a different argument. That's a different video on a different day. Speaking to an audience at the Edinburgh Fringe, she shed some more light on her reasons for dropping out the Westminster Nat Group, her future, and her backing for the Scottish Greens. The In Conversation event at the Stand Newtown Theatre was hosted by journalist Gavin Spears, who put the 28-year-old MP that her party had been in power too long. Is she only 28? My God, she had a hard life, didn't she? The Paisley MP sighed and told the audience, what's the other options? She says she didn't know if Scotland would be independent in a decade. Darling, it won't be independent within your lifetime. But thought it would be one day when enough people think we can do something better. Well, the people of Scotland actually have come to the point where they do believe that they can do better by voting the SNP out. They've seen how much of a mess Scotland's fallen because of Mhairi Black and her ilk and her hate-filled, divisive, them and us politics, the othering of people, and then the dehumanising of the other. It's what the SNP have done, and that is why Scotland is such a bad state at the moment with this hate-filled load of crap. Anyway, she added, whether that happens in the next 2 years or the next 10 years, I don't know. I do. It won't. But I have no doubt that Scotland will one day be independent. No doubt about it at all. Oh dear. Really? Oh dear. It just goes to show how dim you are. Miss Black, who was one of the youngest MPs in history when she was elected in 2015, is known as the first person to use the C word in the Commons. In 2018, she was detailing the extent of online abuse she receives. And she's also been told off several times for other bad language incidents that forced an apology. Yeah, she tries to come, like she's a woman of the people. She uses the vernacular of the people. Look at me, I swear like a docker. She's a nice middle-class girl who puts this affectation on and has invented some strange accent that no one else in Scotland ever uses. It's almost as though she's invented a new language that only she can understand. But hey, I'm not going to stop her. It's a free world. Do what you like, love. Don't care. Anyway, true to reputation, she said she was leaving Westminster, which pleases everyone in Westminster no end, which is still her place of work until the 2024 election. She said it's because it's filled with arseholes for much of the week. Yes, but that's because you're there most of the week, and so indeed are all the other SNP MPs. Although, as I say, there's 10 of them gone now, She went on to refuse to rule out a move to the Scottish Parliament when asked about her future. She was unsure what it held, but said, I'm not closing myself off to anything, but once I stop at Westminster, I think my initial plan is just to breathe for a moment and figure out what I want to do and see what opportunities lie in front of me. I will suspect very few. Who would want to employ you? You're an obnoxious, disgusting human being. You always look dirty. There's allegations of substance abuse over your head. You seem to be too sweary. You're divisive. You've never got a good word to say about anyone. I suppose you could join the BBC. They'd snap you up, wouldn't they? Anyway, bizarrely, she claimed that the Scottish Tories and Labour have a lot to gain from Skexit. No, they haven't. They might not agree, but Miss Black says they'll be able to split from their UK bases and they might even get her vote. That'll never happen. That's a line of bullshit, isn't it? Anyway, she said, if anything, the political party that's got the most to lose from independence is the SNP because it's arguably served its purpose. It hasn't got a purpose. It's never going to get independence, and so it's pointless being there. She says, you've got folk like me openly saying they want independence and my vote is up for grabs. And asked if the SNP had been in power for too long after 16 years, Miss Black hesitated for a few seconds and hummed and sighed before saying, I'm going to say no, predictably. But in actual fact, I think that means even she admits it's yes. And so she says, I totally appreciate the sort of sentiment with that question, but I think I see ultimately, particularly in Scotland, what are the other options? Anything. Chaos is better than what you've got. She said that if the SNP and the Greens come out of government at Holyrood, I think folk are going to get a real shock when all of a sudden tuition fees are coming back, your prescriptions are not free. They're not free now. Just because people don't pay them doesn't mean they're not free. And if you don't understand that, then you're an even bigger moron than I thought you were. You're getting charged for that spare bedroom that was getting mitigated for all those years without anybody talking about it. So I think that the SNP and certainly this coalition is the best thing on offer for Scotland just now. Are you kidding me? Look at the NHS. Look at education. We did a video earlier showing how far education has fallen. She says it's by no means perfect. Well, she's got that right. And there's always room for improvement. Again, she's got that right. But when I really stop and think about what the alternatives are, I do think the SNP is offering the best hope for the people just now. She's got that wrong. So yeah, I'd still vote for them. Miss Black defeated Labour's Douglas Alexander in 2015 at the age of just 20, becoming the youngest MP in 200 years. However, she struggled on the green benches and admitted she considered stepping down at 2017 snap election. Her attendance record has been questioned by opponents, and some have said she's quitting now with her seat likely to go to Labour at the next election. Basically she's done. She knows it. She's not going to win the seat again next time, and so she's jumping before she's pushed. But I'd still like to push her really hard. And there's a face. You couldn't love it if you breastfed it, could you? Anyway, arseholes to the lot of them. I'm going to round off and come up. Oh dear sweet Mhairi Black, you shan't be missed. Let's just face it, on the very rare occasions you actually bother to turn up, you don't make much of a contribution. You're a single policy issue, a single issue candidate. You've got nothing to offer, nothing to say. You're charmless, you're odious. Nobody likes you. Even within your own party, people find you a bit odd. And certainly the people in your constituency absolutely could do a lot better than you. So it's probably good news that you're going. But, who'll replace you? It's going to be Labour, isn't it? It's going to be someone from the Labour Party, probably. That's the thing. The SNP are running out of candidates. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching this rather late video. And I do apologise, but I just thought that it certainly needed putting out there. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Bye.